If you don't want to throw your time or your money out the window when it comes down to logo design for your business, this week's video is for you. So stick around. Hey everybody, it's Jonathan Glenn here. Anything you want to find out about me, head on over to jonathanglenn.com. Of course, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, give the video a like, hit the notification bell, and with all that, let's get into it. So the first question I ask myself before I start any creative process at all is, who is my customer? I need to start asking questions to start building profiles on everybody that's going to be interacting with my company. So I may be asking, what's their age? Are they male or female? What types of car do they drive? Do they eat out? What kind of restaurants do they go to? What kind of businesses and brands do they already interact with? What do they look like? What are the expectations? By asking all these questions, I'm going to start to be able to profile them, and it will start answering questions like what kind of colors, what type of fonts, what type of style, and all the visual elements that start to make up a logo. So you need to start building avatars, and you need to ask, who is going to be hiring me? The second question you want to ask yourself is, what is your tone? What's the feel or personality of your business? I'll give you just a couple examples that'll make it crystal clear what I'm talking about. Two businesses like Dollar Shave Club and Gillette, for all intents and purposes, the same types of companies, and they have the same types of products, but they have a very different tone. Gillette has a look and feel and tone to their branding, and Dollar Shave Club has a look and feel and tone to their branding. And they made that decision before they started doing anything when it came to visual identity. They had to know how they would feel and sort of how they would communicate right out of the gates. Another example would be, say, Old Spice and Dove. They both have, body wash, same types of products or services, but very decisively different tones, feels to their businesses, which again, they made that decision at the very beginning of the process, so they knew exactly how everything else would come together down the line. So know your tone before you get started. Okay, so now that we've answered the first question of who our customer is, and we've answered the second question of what our tone or feel is as a brand, now we want to ask ourselves, what does our customer expect to see? You see, people have expectations when they get into a room with somebody all the time, and we'll make judgments of people when they come into a room if they look a certain way, or they sound a certain way, or they say a certain thing. Your logo and your identity is exactly the same. You need to know exactly what the expectation is when you enter the room. So the example I would use in this scenario is, let's say that you needed to get a whole bunch of money that you wanted to inject into your business, and you set up a meeting at your bank. And when you got to the bank, you showed up wearing this. I love this shirt, by the way. Point is, it's distracting. The colors and the imagery, which I love, are really not conducive to a bank meeting about a whole bunch of money. If anything, like I said, it's going to distract the person that you're with. Is this guy here to have a cocktail from his favorite tiki room, or is he here to have a conversation about how we might be able to help his business? It's just really important that you know exactly what the expectation is of the potential customer that you're going to be working with, or who's going to be buying your product or service. So those are the three questions I ask literally every single time, and write down on a piece of paper and answer immediately before there's any decisions made on logo design. So who is my customer? What is the tone that I'm setting with my branding and my identity? And what do they expect to see when I enter the room? When you have all these three questions answered, it makes the design of everything so much faster, and it saves you a whole bunch of money every single time. And that's it for this week's video, everybody. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I hope this week's video brought you some value. Of course, if you have any comments or any suggestions for future videos, please leave your comments down below and I will reply to you there. And we'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone.